Alright, so the app was loaded. It took some time, I had some issues, but overall here it is. Alright, so this is the console application. Yeah, what this means, you know what console is? You have, those little black windows that just type text in it, stuff like that. Well, yeah, that's the console application. I will post a picture in this in the meanwhile. So, let's just start and writing things in our code, and then we will see, what's every piece of line is all about. So, alright, let's start with this one. See this green code at the top of everything? Yeah, that's comments. You write comments with these double slash lines. What you actually say is that you're first of all, you're telling the program once it compiles to ignore these lines. That's the first thing. The second thing is you write there whatever you want to write. It's your comment section, and I highly recommend you to write heavy comments on every piece of code. So why? Because first of all, if you write comments, not on every piece of code, but on the crucial things, whenever you use the code, whenever you give someone the code, you or he or she knows what to do with it, how it's working, where to fix it, what to fix. You understand what I'm saying. You're helping yourself and others understand your code better. Plus, it's not going to be any issues because the program, once it compiles, it ignores these things. So you're good to go. Second thing, you've got this. I've got sharp. I don't know how to brackets. I don't know. It's not brackets. It's something. It's a hashtag. Damn, I never thought I'm gonna say that word. Include, and inside of the brackets you got stdafx.h. That's a library. It's sort of a library. What you're saying with this one, with include, is that you're including something in your program which will actually allow your program to run, debug, or if you write some other functionalities, it's going to help your program build it. And stdafx.h is, let's take it like this: C++ debugging, code debugging, is a really long and slow process. So what this library does, it's a pre-compiled header file. What means that is any header you include in the stdafx.h are pre-processed to save time during subsequent compilations. In order to avoid slow and obnoxious compiling, because it's a long process, you include this one and it runs faster because it already saves all the things that it needs to save. Alright, so next thing is we've got this integer main, and we've got brackets here. These are not brackets, these are quotation marks. Yeah, you include libraries and stuff like that in quotation marks. Have that in mind. You don't put anything behind them, you just include them. They're like namespaces, except namespaces you have this semicolon. So we've got to this part, integer main, and you've got brackets. Brackets you can exclude, but let's go here from start. Integer, it's a number. Program itself, it calculates velocity, density, height, speed, whatever, and it needs that sort of name. In forms applications or any other applications, such as these, you can have integers, you can have floats, you can have void. To tell your main function what is it all about. Consoles practically just go with integer. Now main, that's the name of your function. Now why main? Because once you give your application, your function named main, it tells your program where to start. You can have a lot of other functions, a bobblehead, sun, a couch, whatever. But the main function must be included, and it's the first thing that a program will do once it compiles. It's like the key thing, it's like a starting point. So without a main, you won't have anything, but the main included is necessary because it's the starting point of program. Now brackets behind the main functions, which are here, are included because you can leave them empty, but they must be there. Why? Because some functions in your program, not necessarily main function, but some other, might want to include some things. So behind the main function, inside the brackets, you can write, I don't know, I'm guessing something like, integer a, b, c, d, and then, down there you just assign them the values, with actually writing, and, integer a is equal to 3, or integer b is equal to 7. In brackets above, you just write, you assigned those letters them, what value of they are, so they're integers. Just below you can write, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 7, because the program already knows, because it was set in the main function, of what type of them are, so they're integers. You can also set floats. You can set, you know what I'm saying. You understand it. Next you have these curly brackets. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're called. So let's just say called curly brackets. If you know, just please write it down. I don't want to embarrass myself, later on. Everything is written in those. You open them up at the beginning and you close them at the end. It's like a door. Once opened, it must be closed. Otherwise, draft, wind, and then you all die. Not necessarily die, but you know what I'm getting at. Every part of code is written in those curly brackets. Every part. Main function, any other function, everything is written in those. It's a necessity. Next thing. Return 0. What return 0 means? Well, basically means if it's 0, everything above that line was good. There were no mistakes, no errors. Everything above that line ran perfectly, and the program compiled just the way you wanted it. If it's return 0. So that's what it means. So let's begin by writing our first program, which is hello world. We can write something else. So to begin writing, we have to learn a few things that are necessity. First one is a command, which is printf. So write it down, printf. You see this drop down menu when it comes down. You said if you have fprintf underline s and stuff like that. You have printf. What you're saying is that whatever you type now, it will be presented in the console application. Now, good thing about Visual Studio, which I really like, is that you see I haven't finished the command printf, but in the return section, the return part of the code, you have this little red line. It says error expected a semicolon. Where? Here. But it's not actually here, it's the line above to finish the line. Every line of code must finish, except when you include libraries, must finish with semicolon. It's like a dot at the end of the sentence. It's like a drink at the end of the meal. It finishes. So printf, you're practically saying to the program, you know what, I've got something I want to write, I want something I want to say, and I want you to print it out so I can read what I wrote. So that's the printf function for. I'm not gonna bother you with everything technicalities. I'm just gonna stick with a point and help you guys understand all of this. And yes, this video is really long because I had to go through what Visual Studio is all about, languages and stuff like that, and explaining every part of this code to you. So printf, now you want to open brackets. They're normal brackets. Inside the brackets, open the quotation marks. 2. Now inside the quotation marks, you're gonna write everything you want that is going to be printed. Now you can write hello world, you can write hello Betty, you can write Las Vegas. You know, everything you write in the quotation marks is going to be printed out in the console application. So yes, it's a hello world, but you know what, it sounds a little bit boring, so let's write something else, such as, I don't know, Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon. And at the end of the sentence, semicolon. See, errors are gone, the sentence is finished. Now what this does is printing out everything you wrote in these quotation marks onto the screen. Now, to check that out, go to debug, which is above, and start without debugging. Because if you start with debugging, printf is a clear sentence which is finished, everything was perfect. Return 0, it means everything ran perfectly and will close the program. If you start with debugging, it's gonna last 0.5 seconds and then it's gonna close and it's gonna be really annoying. So start without debugging, and it's gonna pop up this window. Yes, you wanna build it. See, build it succeeded, and you have Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon. Press any key to continue, press enter, close it. Now, that's the first part. Second part is, I want to write something else. So let's see. Printf, I don't know. What do you want? Half-Life 3 is maybe coming soon. Semicolon, close it. Now let's start without debugging. Yes. Now, what you noticed here is Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon, and right after you have Half-Life 3 is maybe coming soon. Two sentences are combined together. You don't want that. First of all, I'm just gonna remove that, it's written wrong. How to solve that problem? You see, program doesn't understand, you know, what part of the line should go to the next one. Now, to avoid that, before closing the quotation marks, put that one slash to the side. It's in letter Q, and put N. Now, what this says is print me Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon, and then it's gonna hit this. Let's see. Let's first start without debugging. See. Alright, I'm just gonna explain to you. I'm telling the program, you know what, Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon, and then the program hits that slash N part of the code, but it's written before closing the quotation marks. What's the program gonna do? It's a code within quotation marks, within printing. What it says to the program is, you know what, print that out, now stop. See, I've come across with the slash n part. What I'm gonna do now is it tells me to move on to the next line. So I'm gonna take the next line and I'm just gonna move it below. So I don't wanna cause, you know, collisions and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take that one line, put it there, and when I hit that part of the code, I'm just gonna move the next line below it. That's what it does. So when you hit the debug and start without debugging, you've got Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon, and in the next line, Half-Life 3 is maybe coming soon. But you know what? What if I want, I don't know, 2 lines of empty space? We just do it again, slash n. And what that does, it doesn't create 1, it creates 2 slashes of empty space between, which is pretty cool. Now, you can use this any way you want to move things into, you know, new line. So you can, let's see, Left 4 Dead 3 slash n is slash n coming soon. See, start without debugging. Yes, I want to build it. See, Left 4 Dead 3 is coming soon, and every part of that line is written in a separate line below it. So you can use this slash n whatever you want. It's practically telling, it's a code within the code, telling the program to, you know, print something else right below it. Now, referring to the blank lines which you used with /n, you can have as many as you want, or you can have none. It depends on your program, what you are working on. It's really good to have /n's every now and then, so you can, split up pieces of program, differently, so it's more, nice to look at. You don't want everything to be crumbled in and everything put in one place, and then you're all like, damn. You want everything to be in place, perfectly aligned, so it can be readable and, viewable perfectly. So, that's about printing things. This is the hello world-ish, left for that 3 things, printing. So, to sum it up, summarize it. Go from the top. Double slashes are, you open and you close them, are comments. Write them as many as you want, doesn't affect the program. This hashtag thingy, I need to find out how is that pronounced. Include, and in quotation marks, you write the name of the library. You include libraries in the program. So you can write libraries for calculations, you can write libraries for any other thing. You can write your own libraries, which is pretty awesome. For, I don't know, Fibonacci's row, or, sorting things out. You just write the numbers down there and it's going to sort them out by your library, which is pretty cool. Integer main. What that means is it's a main function. You set what its functionality of sort. It's void is not void. It's integer is a data. It can be integer, float, void, whatever. Depends on you. It's a data. Main is the name of the function. That's the thing. Brackets, leave them empty if you want. Fill them out with integers, floats, characters, whatever. So down there in the code, you will have more clearer view on what you're doing. Open and close curly brackets is a necessity. Don't make a mistake. If you write 3,000 lines of code and you left out one of these bastards, you're gonna have